This is A's Cast Live, your comprehensive look at the Oakland Athletics.
Rooker, it's a 5 on a deep center. Robert going back at the track. He will turn and watch it fly.
And 29 other MLB clubs.
Adolis Garcia sends one the other way. That sends Carroll back. He's at the wall. And the legend grows. Ronald Acuna, another milestone in a truly historic season.
Julio with an absolute nuke out to left field.
It's Glaber Day. And like a good Glaber, Torres is there.
Join us as we take you inside the baseball universe. From humidors to Stuff Plus to walk-off dingers, we have you covered. Spend your afternoon with us, only on A's Cast Live. Here's Chris Townsend.
Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to another edition of A's Cast Live Monday, and we have a great show for you today. The left-hander, the World Series champion, and now TV analyst for the Rays, Brian Anderson, is going to be here, coming up here at 4:15. We are going to have an A's player. Cody, do we know who that A's player is?
In communication, do not know yet.
TBD will be showing up from the A's a little bit later after batting practice. The general manager of the Oakland Athletics, David Forst, as we have a lot to talk about today. There are rumors flying around that the number one pick out of Wake Forest, who's hit 4 home runs in 6 games in his professional career, Nick Kurtz, could be moving up another level to end the season. I don't know. There's rumors, and they're great rumors. So we got a lot to talk about with David Forst coming up here at 5 o'clock. And then Mark Ellis, we had Alumni Sunday yesterday. Mark Ellis, obviously an A everybody loves. Mark Ellis, we got a chance to sit down with him in a suite up in the East Side Club, or we'll just call it Mount Davis yesterday. So Mark Ellis is going to join us. So a great show. Brian Anderson from the Rays at 4:15. We've got an A's player coming up. You know, when you do that, that affects mine too. That's weird.
Yeah, I don't like this new technology that we're using.
So
we've
extended our cords so we can move around more, right? But the problem with extending the cords, like when we mess with them, it messes up. Can they hear this?
If we're hearing it, they probably hear it too, yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and I hear a buzzing sound in my head, but we never had this issue before we used these extenders, though. Never had an issue with that.
All right, well, you know, sometimes you got to get through it, Commander. You got to get through it. Are you ready for the big takeaway? What do you got? Do you have something yet for the big takeaway?
I found an ominous music bed that we can use. Here, let's see what you think.
All right, we can test it out all together here. This kind of sounds like a Schwarzenegger, Terminator type.
I feel like I'm getting ready to watch Godzilla.
Mothra's going to come out against King Kong and Godzilla. Godzilla! All right, we can work on it. I understand the big takeaway today. It was a heavy weekend. There's no doubt about it. I got home yesterday. I was exhausted, took a long nap, woke up from my nap, had a lot of text and people contacting me about the post-game show. It was pretty heavy, obviously, the content. So the big takeaway for me, and it's kind of what's going on in my life right now, is this weekend series, there was a lot of things going on. Obviously, the Hall of Fame. We also had, Giants. It reminds me of, so my kid's going to college. So my kids get into a college, they pick a college. You think, oh, that's great. I cannot wait. You're going to school. It's the evolution of life. You've worked so hard for this. This is wonderful. But all of a sudden, now the luggage comes out, and now the boxes come out, and now the packing's happening. So we've gone from way back they got into school, and you're super happy for them, and all of a sudden, now it's getting real because they've got a pack to go to school, and it's like, oh, my God, this is really happening. There's a moment where you realize, okay, I know they're going to college, And that's going to be, it's going to be rough. But I hadn't thought about that. I knew it was coming, but now here is the luggage. Here's the boxes. This is starting to get real. That's what this weekend was, I think, for a lot of us who live this every day. We know the ending is coming with the A's in Oakland. We've known it for a long time. But this past weekend was like the reality when you listen to someone like Ken Korak say, we're never going to have the Oakland Athletics against the San Francisco Giants again. And someone like myself who's lived it with football will never have the Oakland Raiders against the San Francisco 49ers. Yes, the Raiders and Niners will play again. Yes, the A's and the Giants will play again. But it'll never be Oakland versus San Francisco. This stuff starts coming up. This is like the boxes, the luggage. Oh, my God, this is really happening. And here, once we hit September 29th, it will be a reality. I understand how painful it is for a lot of people. And it's different for everybody. Everybody is going to go through this. Everybody is going to grieve differently. And I want to be respectful of everybody's feelings because it's not going to be easy. It is going to be really hard. And this series is we're going to really decompress with the Rays in town. We're going to go from the massive crowd on Saturday night for the Hall of Fame. And then the big crowd yesterday, I want to say it was like 37,000 yesterday. And with all the emotions to now, it's going to be a small crowd tonight. It's going to be kind of like we're all going to decompress. And this is still a long homestand. It's 4 games against the Rays. Then Milwaukee comes to town for 3. But that was some heavy stuff. And a longtime caller yesterday in our postgame show fully broke down, a guy that never breaks down, fully broke down, a longtime fan. And it resonated with a lot of people, and it hit a lot of people. Yes, we got our out-of-town callers who they don't necessarily sense the same vibe that's going on here, and I understand that. But it's going to get tough. And really, this Giant series showed us this. And I understand we're all going to take it in differently. We're all going to digest it differently. We're all going to emotionally handle it differently. I just want everybody to know that I understand that. And we're going to do the best that we can here on A's Cast Live to take this really delicate subject and help get us through to the 29th. I announced it yesterday. We've talked a lot about what we're going to do right after the season. We're probably going to take a little break here on A's Cast Live just to let everybody know, because I don't think it would really be appropriate for us to just all of a sudden season ends, all the emotion, the tears, and then wham, we're right back into the playoffs. So we'll probably take a little time because we're all going to need it. It's going to be very emotional. I just want you to know that as much as we always try and talk baseball, we try and talk what's going on in Major League Baseball and what's going on with the A's and covering this great sport of ours, that we're very cognizant of everybody's feelings and what you're going through, because it is not going to be easy. And like I said earlier, there is no blueprint for what we're doing. I mean, I'm standing here looking, Chris Carey, who does our television here at home, Dallas and Johnny are down the line. Johnny does radio and Dallas does TV. And whether you work for the A's, there's not a blueprint. There's not a book that tells us how to handle this. And when I did this with the Raiders, as I was on the broadcast team, I did the TV show with the coach. I mean, I did radio. No one gave us a book. Hey, this is how a team leaves, and this is how you handle it. This is how you do it. No one's given us that. So we're battling through it ourselves. So that's how I wanted to start the show and say thank you, everybody who has stayed with us, and the fact that, we're going to get through it. And after this, we have 2 more home stands, and we're going to try and honor this place that has meant so much in our lives, my life. I mean, some of the greatest moments of my life, one of the greatest moments I've ever had was emceeing the Hall of Fame inductions. That was a huge honor for me. I can tell you, I was super nervous. It's the first time I've been nervous in a long time, Cody. It felt good. It feels good to be nervous again, because when you're nervous, it means something.
Yeah, for sure. And you did a great job. And if anyone wants to listen to it, it's on A's Cast. So athletics.com/A's Cast, or on iHeartRadio, or wherever you get your podcast. So if you want to listen to the audio form, it's up there. And if you want to watch it, I'm working on that. We'll get it up on YouTube as soon as we can. But You did a great job, emceeing it, stepping in for Ken, who was doing, did the great touching tribute for Bill King. So, but I knew when you walked in that I could sense a little nervous energy.
Totally.
For sure.
It means something, right? I tell my kids that all the time. I mean, if you're not nervous, then it doesn't mean something. And I think about 2012, and I think about all the Raider games, and I think about all the great events that I've done here. I mean, this place, I've spent a lot of my life here, and then all the Warrior stuff that I did earlier in my career than later in my career. This plot of land has been a big part of my life and my family's life. My kids grew up here.
No, it's very well said, for sure.
So it's like it means a lot to a lot of us. But so I just want you to all know that I understand that, and we're going to do the best we can to all get through this because it is a reality. Let's bring on our Brian is ready to rock. What's happening? Let's get him on. Talk a little Rays baseball. I was just talking about Saturday. I had to MC for the first time the Hall of Fame and talking about nervous. Hey, come on and get in the camera here. And thank you for coming on the show.
For sure. Always.
So put the head. There you go. Put it.
Yeah, we're good.
How are you?
I'm good.
I was just talking about how nervous I was. I want to let everybody know. And I think back to probably when you were pitching in the World Series. If you're not nervous, something's wrong.
You know what? There's a lot of truth to that. I mean, a lot of truth to that, even to this day. It's like when you're getting ready to go on, to do a game and they count down your 3, 2, 1. If you don't have that little anxiousness before that camera starts to roll, I'm like, if I ever get to the point that doesn't move me anymore, maybe it's time to move on from what I'm doing, because there's something about that rush that you get from doing something like that where those nerves are involved. And like I said, I get that every game sitting upstairs.
How many games do you guys do a year?
So we probably at the end of the day, the round number, probably 150, 152.
I mean, think about that. It's half the year you're on live television.
Yeah. Yeah. And so I end up I'll take a week off. I try to take a week off right when the kids get out of school, and then take a week off right before they go back. So I'll end up missing maybe 10, 12 games over the course of a season. Then I'll get a couple national games. Like this year, I'll have a Fox game and a couple of Roku games. So that'll help make up for it. But yeah, at the end of the day, I think, most of the time I'm in the mid 140s, 145, 147 for me personally, but the team does a little bit over 150. But then, as the year goes on, all of a sudden a national game gets added.
Oh, yeah.
So that chips into the inventory a little bit, but for the most part, 150 is a nice round number.
How is when you go, because we've had the Apple game here before, when you go into that new world,
right,
where it's not cable anymore, it's being presented like cable, but it's not cable. When you do those games, new ideas, trying new things out, what is it like doing those games?
You know what? Sometimes they can be overproduced. Like when you're doing the day-to-day, you've got to produce that night's game, but you're not digging too deep because you got a game tomorrow and a game tomorrow. The stories they write themselves. When you're doing some of these national games, for the producer, the director, a lot of times, it's their only game for the week. So they're all over everything.
It's the Super Bowl.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes it feels like that. Now they do a good job of not making you feel like that, but you're on, calls and meetings and this, and you're like, wow, there's a lot going on for this game, which you're not used to when you do it every single day. But they're fun in a different way because you're hitting an audience that you normally don't hit. There's going to be a lot of people watching this particular game in other cities that really probably have never seen you call a game before, and you're getting an opportunity to kind of broaden your horizons a little bit. But that's the one thing that I have noticed is that it's a much bigger deal because it's, especially for the producer, it's his only game that week. So he is just, every fine nook and cranny. And, there's a lot that goes on too that's different, interviewing the managers and doing all of those sorts of things. But it's still fun, no question, just in a different way.
Do you ever sit back with the Rays and just go, wow, I can't believe this is happening? Because I trading deadline, there's guys flying out the door and you're replenishing and you're like, I like that move. I like that. And you're looking at all that. And normally teams that go through all of that, there's this collapse. And then all of a sudden I'm looking at the Rays and here they are still in it. It is amazing the amount of movement that the Rays had in building for the future. And yet you're still right in it.
Well, let's go through what exactly they traded away. Phil Maton was a guy that they spent a lot of money on to come in and help out the bullpen. But they trade him. They trade Aaron Savali, a guy who they had traded for the previous season, part of their starting rotation. They trade those two guys early. Then all of a sudden you get up against the trade deadline. Zach Eflin, opening day starter, traded. Isaac Paredes, your AL All-Star representative, traded. Randy Arozarena, the lifeblood of your team for the last 4 or 5 years, out the door. Jason Adam, your most consistent and best reliever, see ya. I mean, it was like, even for the Rays standards, that was a little much. You know, they're going to trade 1 or 2 guys here or there. You understand that that's part of how they do business. But this was the whole, like I said, I just named off those 4 guys on top of the other 2. And yet, like you said, they hang around. They've got a couple of young kids, Edwin Uceda and Manuel Rodriguez out of the bullpen that have been able to fill in for Maton and for Jason Adams. And they have done an unbelievable. These guys don't give up anything. They don't give up anything. They've been phenomenal. You trade Aaron Savali, here comes Shane Baz. You know, you trade Zach Eflin and you know, Ryan Pepio comes back off the IL, and you've got different guys you can plug in, you know, to make it work. It's pretty incredible. And then, you know, like with Randy Arozarena, Isaac Paredes, position players gone. Dylan Carlson is getting an opportunity. Johnny DeLuca is getting an opportunity. There's a lot of young kids that are getting increased playing time, and they're going to figure out, is this going to be part of the core moving forward, part of the solution, or do we have to go look at something else? So these guys have really seized the opportunity. Junior Caminero now coming up, you know, one of the top prospects in all of baseball. He's going to come up and play a whole lot of third base. Had to throw him over to first base with Yandy Diaz getting hit in the ball game yesterday, which was interesting because he went over there and played flawlessly at first. So guys are getting opportunities, and guys are taking, you know, full advantage. And so, you know, it's an interesting way that the Rays go about doing things, but they always seem they've got a culture in that clubhouse where these guys expect to go out, compete, and win, period. And it's just unacceptable if you don't. And so this has been kind of a down year, but this group still believes that they've got one more good run in them to see if they can make some noise and sneak in.
Rays doing Rays-like things, and when you hang around 500 now with the 3 wild cards, you're in this thing. Mm-hmm. You said that all as a broadcaster. I want you to think as a player. You're in that clubhouse. What do you think it's like living all that? You're a guy that didn't move, and you're living all that movement around you, and yet still going out and competing. It's got to be odd for a player.
It is, but you understand that that's part of the game.
Yeah.
And the one thing that you learn that this game of baseball will teach you, and I think any sport at a high level, the need to compartmentalize. You know, things are going to bother you. Okay, great. You still have a job to do. There may be things that bother you that are happening not at the field. You know, there could be stuff at home. Got to find a way to put it away. You got to go compete and play a game at the highest level in the world, night in and night out. And so you learn how to compartmentalize. You know, Jason Adam and some of the, you know, Isaac and Randy Arozarena, all these guys, they've got very dear friends on the team. You know, that could have been your guy that you hang with all the time. And not only is he a good player, but you guys are close. You've got a kinship. And all of a sudden he's gone, but deal with it. And I think that, you know, it's not just, you know, that's not just for the Rays. I mean, that's this game in general. And guys have to learn how to compartmentalize. You understand that that's part of the business, especially if you're with the Rays, and you just accept it. You accept it and you say, hey, this stinks. It's time for me to go out and start preparing for batting practice and then get ready for the game, have my pregame meal, and off we go. And guys have done a great job of doing that. And I think, like I said, some of those younger guys are realizing, hey, I'm going to get to play. I mean, I'm going to finally be able to get into some kind of rhythm and show these guys what I can do. And you know, they've done an excellent job.
I talk about it all the time, and you know how it works with us. Fans may not love it, but what is, it's very, very smart. Let's end on this. Bob Melvin was here over the weekend. Matt Williams, your old teammate.
Yes.
I always like to bring it up because I know what a special time it was in your life. I always bring it up with Matt Williams just when you think back of that championship and one of the great championships, taking down the Yankees, ending that run. The last team to win back-to-back championships was that Yankee team, and you guys ended that run.
Yeah, and you know what? With the ironic thing, we were talking about that the other day because the Diamondbacks were in town. We were playing Arizona, so there was a lot of Arizona talk that had come up in the booth.
Does everybody want to talk to you?
Oh yeah, so yeah. And all of a sudden you're talking about
good for you.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, the guys on that team, just the camaraderie and the names. You know, Mark Grace, the personalities, Matt Williams. I mean, all of them. It was just a great group. But it's just, I don't know. I mean, it's one of those things where we were actually laughing because everybody roots against New York unless you're a New York Yankee fan. But that particular year, 9/11, 2001, only Arizona Diamondback fan. That was probably the only group that was rooting for us. I mean, everybody was pulling for the Yankees that particular. Maybe for the first time ever, everybody was pulling for New York, and it turned out to be an epic series. You forget that the home team won every game. We won the first 2, lose the next 3 in New York, come back home. Like, how did that happen? After those late home runs, and then all of a sudden, a blowout in Game 6 and a nail biter, unbelievable game in Game 7. So yeah, it was an epic series. But like I said, only Arizona Diamondback fans were rooting for the Arizona. The rest of the country was rooting for the Yankees.
Well, right now Arizona back being had a tough against you guys, but Arizona, hottest team in baseball since June 1st.
Listen, they had come into the series against the Rays. They had won 9 consecutive series. They were 9-1 in their last 10 games. Just shows you the parity that's in this game.
No doubt.
Because while they're a good team, they're a nice team, but there was nothing about them that made you go, wow. Well, I mean, like just blew you away. This is anybody's year. That can get hot. You could have another Arizona team from last year, 84 wins, just get in and make a run. You could see that because we will come across these teams from time to time that are playing great baseball, best record in Major League Baseball the last 2 weeks, top of the division, and you watch them for 3 or 4 days and you're like, okay, they're a nice team, but they're not all that.
Yeah.
That's the way it's been all these travels. It's the way it's been all season long. So I think it really could be anybody's year. And yes, again, the Diamondbacks are a nice team, but they didn't wow you. They didn't blow you away, and they got swept by the Rays, who hadn't hit, and Rays have had trouble scoring runs, really all season long. But the last couple of days or that series, 10 or more hits in all 3 games. So they weren't pitching very well, weren't hitting very well either against this staff.
Man, I wish we saw you more.
Oh my gosh, I know. I love the whole stand-up thing too. Just 2 guys having this is
A's Cast
a great
Live.
setup. Yes.
The future.
It's awesome.
It's the future.
I
Hey,
love it.
thank you very much.
Yes,
Always appreciate the time.
Absolutely. Thank you
and
very
good
much.
luck the rest of the season. We're always rooting for you guys.
Yeah. Well, you can't, right?
It's the Rays.
the
You want to
Rays,
come
baby.
take down the Yankees and the Red Sox. We love that.
That's it.
We got more coming up next right here in A's Player on A's Cast Live.
If you haven't been to the Chicken Pie Shop in Walnut Creek, what are you waiting for? You're going to love the new menu, and it's a great place to watch all the pennant race action and the upcoming NFL and college football seasons. Come taste their world-famous chicken pie that has been served in Southern California for 86 years. Spacious indoor and outdoor dining, perfect for your next corporate party or birthday celebration. Don't forget free parking. For more information, go to chickenpieshopwc.com. That's chickenpieshopwc.com.
Where does one community end and the next begin? Across the railroad tracks? On the other side of the river? Is it between the east side and the west side? At Comerica Bank, we believe it's all one community, and we're all part of it. That's why Comerica has invested over $20 million for affordable housing, financial education, and workforce development in lower-income communities. Because when we raise expectations for everyone, we all rise. Member FDIC, Equal Opportunity Lender.
Hi, fans. This season, Kingsford Capital Management is the official hedge fund sponsor of the Oakland A's. At Kingsford, down to business is their way of seeing the world. Investing has its pitfalls, treacherous chasms of half-truth and despair. Kingsford's mission is to create opportunity through application of proven innovation and entrepreneurial focus with trust, tenacity, loyalty, and growth, establishing a strong reputation as a proven intendant and validated bedrock of American finance. Kingsford Capital, down to business.
Hey, Oakland A's fans, step up to the plate with Xfinity Internet. Get the fastest speeds and low-lag streaming for an incredible viewing experience that knocks it out of the park. And you'll have a consistent connection with reduced buffering and freezing, so you can stay in all the action inning after inning. When it's game time, make sure to catch it all with internet that's powerful and reliable. Stream sports from the best seat in the house with Xfinity, because it's only live once. Actual speeds vary and not guaranteed. Many factors affect speed. For factors affecting speed, visit xfinity.com/network management.
A's Cast Live continues from Rickey Henderson Field. Here's Chris Townsend.
Well, they didn't tell me who we were getting today. My man JJ Bleday is here. How are you?
Doing good. How are you?
I'm doing great, and I think about just how this season has evolved for you as a player.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us what the difference, like just for you every day coming to the ballpark, what has really been different for you?
I think just the preparation. Like when we have a set lineup that we've been going out and producing every day in and day out, it's that sense of comfort, and that that just kind of gets you into that routine more consistently, and it just makes that preparation a lot easier. So I think that just that same lineup and doing our same work every day, that just kind of puts you in a good mindset to kind of go out and perform.
So when I think about over time with the swing changes, at some point, you don't think about it anymore. It gets ingrained. When did the swing changes finally, this is normal, don't think about it, let it rip?
I think in spring training, there's a lot of work going on in spring training. And, you're going to tinker with some things throughout the season, but nothing major. But once I had the confidence with spring to do that, I knew I was just going to kind of take it throughout the whole rest of the season. And, from there on out, it's more just approach, honing in on that approach and knowing what you got to do to attack that guy on the mound.
You talked about the continuity with the lineup, and it just seems really the continuity with the team. There's more a sense of a team now with so many, since you've got here, there's so many players in and out. Have you got such more sense of a team?
Absolutely. I think the camaraderie in the clubhouse is great right now. I mean, this is the best I've ever been a part in professional baseball. We like being around each other. We like hanging out. We grab dinner together. We talk about our families and whatnot. So it's just a good on and off field relationship we have going on.
Yeah, because there's this sense of what you're building now really going into next year. We talk about it. Obviously, you need to focus game by game, but it's kind of that belief that what you're doing right now will make you guys a tough team really next year.
Absolutely. I think we have the confidence right now. And, as you can see, it's just, it's just building, and we're just trying to stack those days. And we know we can compete with the best of them. And it's just a matter of putting our mind to it and going out and doing it.
In modern day sports, people want to talk a lot about load management. How much is a guy going to play, especially a premium defensive position where you're on your feet and running a lot. And here you are old school. You want to be out there every single day. You want to play center field. Talk about that mindset of how it's out there every single day for your team.
Oh, it's great. You want to be an everyday guy. I mean, that's why you come to the big leagues. You don't want to be playing every few days. If you can get the reps and get the at-bats, you're only going to be a better player in the future. And just getting that experience is huge. And it's just nice playing every day. Like I said, getting in that routine. And again, just kind of having that confidence in yourself to go out and go compete for 9.
And play me against lefties. I want it. I want the challenge.
Sometimes you need those lefties to kind of clean you up a little bit.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, that was the thing. We've gotten so much into this game where, we have a right-handed lineup. But if you're going to be a premier everyday player, you got to play against everybody.
Exactly. And again, that's only going to boost your confidence if you're facing these really good lefties. And you got to have that, you got to know you can do it. And once you get out there and see it, it's only going to help you in the future.
So talking about the confidence, now the rest of the way here, what do you expect, not only from yourself, for the rest of the guys, what do you want to see the rest of the way?
If we could just keep attacking series, if we keep winning series, we're going to be in a good spot, going into this offseason and, just going into the future. I think that's the mindset right now. Obviously, I'm not sure how the playoffs are looking, all of that, but I mean, don't cut us out of it. We're going to do our best to go on a 20-game win streak. That'd be pretty sweet. But, just doing that. So
taking more of a leadership role too, because now with the younger guys coming up, you're a little bit older than some of these guys. What is that like for you, kind of where people are starting to look up to you?
Yeah, it's good. It's always good to kind of help out guys like Daryl, Law, Zach. I mean, anyone who really needs it. And, we're kind of here for each other. And, Rook's kind of my mentor too. Yeah. So, I look up to him a lot and ask him a lot of questions. So it's just, it's all learning experience, and it's all talking with one another. So, it's just great to be a part of that. And I'm not a big vocal leader. I'm more of just a lead by example, show up.
That's the going out every day.
Yeah, show up, do my work, and, go get ready to play.
That was Marcus Semien. Marcus Semien was like, that guy went out every day, took ground balls. He grinded. He played every single game. It's like, if he's not working hard, how the hell are you not working hard? Right?
Exactly right.
It's been a lot of fun. Talk about Mark Kotsay. As Mark Kotsay, being a former center fielder, now really starting to say a lot of nice things about you out there. What does that mean that you're gaining the respect of your manager who played the same position?
It's great. Kotz was a grinder when he played, and, I'm doing my best to do the same thing. Just go out there. I mean, there's going to be days where you feel pretty banged up and you don't feel that great, but, you got to give whatever you got that day. And I think that's what he's shown for us and, what I want to go do for him.
Well, I got to tell you, it's been a lot of fun watching you play. You're making me look good because I made all these predictions about you, and that's something to be proud of. I know you probably don't look at stats, but that's one thing to be said about in your position being one of the better offensive players. It's got to feel pretty special.
It's great. I mean, and I never even knew I was going to be a center fielder in the big leagues. I thought I was going to be a corner guy.
Did you really?
Yeah, I never really knew it.
Did you always want to play center?
I mean, I played it in high school and all that, but when I went to Vandy, I was always in right field, and I grew pretty comfortable in right field, but this year I feel the most comfortable in center, and I feel like I'm a center fielder now.
You are a center fielder now. You're going to have some of the best stats of any center fielder. Let's end on this. We know your mom watches the show.
Oh, yeah. My mom and my brother-in-law, Jimmy. What's up, Jimmy?
Say hello to the family.
What's up, guys?
Because that's one thing. A show like this allows them where they are to be able to pay attention more than just watching the games.
Yeah.
So it's great to have you on. I appreciate
Thanks, Chris.
it.
Thanks for having me, guys.
JJ Bleday, having a great year for the Athletics. We got more coming up next right here on A's Cast Live.
Hey, Oakland A's fans, step up to the plate with Xfinity Internet. Get the fastest speeds and low-lag streaming for an incredible viewing experience that knocks it out of the park. And you'll have a consistent connection with reduced buffering and freezing, so you can stay in all the action inning after inning. When it's game time, make sure to catch it all with internet that's powerful and reliable. Stream sports from the best seat in the house with Xfinity, because it's only live once. Actual speeds vary and not guaranteed. Many factors affect speed. For factors affecting speed, visit xfinity.com/network management.
Where does one community end and the next begin? Across the railroad tracks? On the other side of the river? Is it between the east side and the west side? At Comerica Bank, we believe it's all one community, and we're all part of it. That's why Comerica has invested over $20 million for affordable housing, financial education, and workforce development in lower-income communities. Because when we raise expectations for everyone, we all rise. Member FDIC, Equal Opportunity Lender.
This is the place where you can dance like nobody's watching, win like nobody's business, and get away like you mean it. So what are you waiting for? Come join the party. Take that evening out and make it a night you'll never forget. This kind of action can't be beat.
This is Chris Townsend, and it is summertime. You want to look your best, and I can't tell you how excited I am. Commander Cody, we've got our new shipment from Link Soul, all the summer gear. So whether you're playing golf or you're going out for dinner, you're hanging out with your buddies, or you're going to the beach, go see our friends at linksoul.com. And right now they have an offer where you can get 20% off. Go to linksoul.com. Remember, in the big leagues, look good, play good.
Hi, fans. This season, Kingsford Capital Management is the official hedge fund sponsor of the Oakland A's. At Kingsford, down to business is their way of seeing the world. Investing has its pitfalls, treacherous chasms of half-truth and despair. Kingsford's mission is to create opportunity through application of proven innovation and entrepreneurial focus with trust, tenacity, loyalty, and growth, establishing a strong reputation as a proven intended and validated bedrock of American finance. Kingsford Capital, down to business.
With the sunshine returning, it's time for golf, and more golf at Cinnabar Hills Golf Club. Cinnabar Hills is also your destination for great food with their beautiful renovated restaurant and quality craft beer selection at their full bar. Featuring a grass driving range and 27 championship caliber holes, Cinnabar Hills Golf Club is the best public course in the Bay Area. For more information, go to cinnabarhills.com. That's cinnabarhills.com.
Ever wondered what a 30-foot tall pistachio looks like? A giant redwood or Big Sur? Chevron with Techron will be there to help you see them and tons of other places you have to see to believe. Because with unbeatable mileage and a clean engine, cars feel great. So next time you want to fill up on a little adventure, an awkward family photo, or a new commute to work, make sure to fill up at Chevron's along the way. Your car and your memories will thank you. Chevron with Techron, fueled by possibility.
If you're looking for a new mattress, Nest Bedding has you covered. Sleep on the same mattress Hall of Famer Ricky Henderson sleeps on. Nest Bedding is the #1 brand of online mattresses and the Bay Area's favorite mattress store. Take home the Easy Breather pillow. The New York Times calls it their #1 pick. You can navigate their easy-to-use website, nestbedding.com. That's nestbedding.com. Green and gold fans, use the coupon code Oakland, and you'll get 10% off your entire order. Nest Bedding, love where you sleep.
If you're looking for a great place to eat and watch games, go see our friends at the Chicken Pie Shop of Walnut Creek. The Chicken Pie Shop is one of the hottest restaurants in Walnut Creek. You're not going to find a better menu, and come try the world-famous chicken pie that has been served in Southern California for 86 years. Spacious indoor and outdoor dining, perfect for your next private party or corporate event. Don't forget free parking. For more information, go to chickenpieshopwc.com. That's chickenpieshopwc.com.
And the underdogs, Oakland Athletics, win their first championship since they were in Philadelphia in 1930.
Hi, I'm Raleigh Fingers, Hall of Famer, three-time World Series champion with the Oakland A's and World Series MVP. Winning takes teamwork, skill, and heart. So when you need an ace for a personal injury lawyer that will win you the game, go with the winning team. Call Venardi Zerata at 833-VZ for me, or go to vzlawfirm.com. Venardi Zerata, the official injury law firm of the Oakland A's.
Like sports, business is about winning. Championship decisions are business decisions based on what it takes to help your company win. And that's why there's UBO Business Services, specializing in helping you win every day by streamlining workflows, managing documents, and providing the best-in-class office technology. Make your championship decision with UBO Business Services. Visit them at ubeo.com. That's ubeo.com.
The A's YouTube page is your go-to destination for A's video content. Get access to great highlights, exclusive behind-the-scenes content, classic games, A's Cast Live, and more. Visit youtube.com/athletics.
You're listening to A's Cast Live. Here's Chris Townsend.
That pumped me up, JJ Bleday. To watch the growth of an athlete, to watch an athlete reach his dreams, and to watch him to progress right in front of our eyes, to become a guy who is now growing into an everyday player in Major League Baseball, which we talked about how important that is in a sport where we love versatility. But you got to have everyday guys. And it's something special now to be an everyday guy where you can be counted on for X amount of years, where you know this guy's playing center field, and this guy's playing shortstop, and this guy, as you see the continuity and how much that matters. And JJ, his year, I mean, you look at the extra base hits, you look at he's playing every single day. With this progression by the end of the year, I mean, obviously Aaron Judge will stand alone. But like I even had this conversation, I'm not going to tell you about the super scout I had this conversation with. And I remember he's like, what about Corbin Carroll? Corbin Carroll has played more than a third of his season in right field. JJ Bleday has been the starting center fielder for the A's all season long. There are not a lot of players who do that anymore. I mean, it's hard to believe.
Yeah.
To have one guy play one position throughout the entire year, it has been very impressive, and JJ Bleday is a huge part. And we'll talk to David Forst about that, the general manager, coming up here at 5 o'clock. He is a huge part of this team going forward, and one of my hot takes is that he will be the first player who signs. I don't know when I did it, but JJ Bleday, and I'll stay by that prediction, my hot take, that JJ Bleday will be one of the first players. If not, well, my prediction, he'll be the first.
Be the first, yes.
But since we're not doing hot takes today, it's a Monday, he'll be one of the first players that will probably be offered something, as contracts and buying out some free agency and stuff will probably be coming down the line here. JJ Bleday, I think, will be one of the first, he'll be one of, if not the first, to sign some type of deal to get some financial security.
I think that's a good call. And we got to, speaking of hot takes, we got to find someone to step in for Johnny tomorrow. Johnny's not going to be here. We got to find a pinch hitter, as they say.
You know what?
I was thinking the same guy.
I'm looking at this kid right here. Chris Carey steps in for Johnny tomorrow in hot takes. So, Chris Carey, get your hot take ready for tomorrow. Anything in Major League Baseball, hot take.
I mean,
and no, your hair's going to look good that night. That's not a hot take.
And don't tell me, hey, we're going to win a game this series. That's what Johnny does.
Hey, I like how the A's are playing and what they're going to do down the stretch. Yeah.
So I didn't get a chance to, because you did a great, opening segment on the big takeaway about what, everything that happened this weekend. And there was no reason for me to butt in and say, hey, no, I want to give you something, the big takeaway for me. It's going on in baseball. I'll do it now.
All right. What do you got?
Shohei Ohtani is on pace to do something that's never been done in the sport of baseball. He could be on pace right now. I tracked it.
Are you sure about this?
I tracked it.
Okay. I'm just going to say, can I just tell you what I saw last night on Quick Pitch?
Yeah.
Are we talking about home run, stolen bases?
Yes.
Well, he's not quite at the what I saw last night, unless things have changed. But go ahead. I'll tell you what I.
So, since 1990, ESPN had this graphic yesterday. I had SportsCenter on for some reason.
SportsCenter?
Yeah.
What channel is that on?
Yeah, and they had it up, and they showed it. Since
ESPN.
Since 1990, there have been 3,020 players to go 10 and 10, 10 homers, 10 stolen bases. There have been 472 players to go 20 and 20, 20 steals, 20 homers.
Good research.
30 and 30, there have been 70 guys to do it, and there have been 5 40 guys, obviously.
Yeah.
The question today on
whoa, since 1990.
Since 1900, sorry.
Oh, 1900. I was saying Jose in 1988,
yeah.
My friend.
So there was a good
new A's Hall of Famer.
Good question on High Heat or MLB Now. Which player had the most home runs during his 40-40 season?
I'm going to go out on a limb here and go Alfonso Soriano.
46.
With the Nats, right?
Yep, the Nats.
I always want to think it's when he was with the Cubs, it was the Nats.
No, it was the Nats, yeah. The 1 year he spent in
is that one for me?
In the nation, that's a good call, in the nation's
you.
capital. So Shohei Ohtani on pace right now, if you use the website that I use for on pace. Shohei Ohtani's on pace for 50 home runs
and
50 steals.
Wow, because they had him last night at 48. Now we're picking boogers here. An old expression, picking boogers.
He would essentially be the first 45-45 guy, too.
Well, let's be honest. 50-50 guy.
That's incredible.
That.
Hitting leadoff.
And we got David Forst coming here at 5 o'clock. I wanted to ask Cody and want you guys to think about this. What do you want to see the rest of the way, right? So when we look at the calendar, we've got basically a month and a half left of baseball. We've got a lot of teams, it's anybody's game. You're one. Brian Anderson was just here. The Rays, one game over 500, right? They're a game over 500 after what they just did to the D-backs. The Rays trading all these guys. Oh, I didn't get to ask him about Randy Rosarena hanging out in the stands.
Yeah, there's that.
After
and then
the trade.
I texted him, told him thank you because we kind of had to rush them out a little bit. Well, I did. But I told him, I said, hey, Dwayne Stats told me to ask you about your suitcase. There's some kind of story behind his suitcase. So I need to find
what
out
is that?
I don't know. I texted him, so maybe he'll give us the answer. But
okay, so
they made like 8 deals somewhere around there during the deadline.
There's like still. I can tell you right now. I'll tell you right now because we keep track of it every single day. And so right now you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 teams. Okay, you have 9 teams. From the top of the wild card right now, which is the Padres, down to only 6 games back with the Reds. So really you have 9 teams that are vying for 3 spots because everybody is essentially one heater away from being in it.
That word's been big lately, heater.
He's on a heater.
You know who says that a lot? The Duke. Jim Duquette says a lot on the not award-winning show, Power Alley.
9 teams. That's amazing. How many teams are not that? You win 9 out of 10, 8 out of 10, and you're right there. So this is going to be a lot of fun. So I asked today, I want you to think about it at home, driving, however you're consuming the show today. What is the thing you want to see going forward?
So I could have won with the easy answer and said, well, there's a lot of parity in baseball, and will we see a 100-win team? Because there has been a 100-win team since – there hasn't been a season without a 100-win team since 2014. What team led baseball in wins that year?
2014. Take me back. A's got into the postseason, the wild card.
Wasn't the Royals.
Lost to Kansas City.
But the Royals beat this team in the postseason the next round.
The Angels?
98 wins. The Angels led baseball that year. But I'm not going to go with that. That's too easy. I think parity in baseball is good with all this.
Yes.
But I did it because I know it's going to upset you because it has something to do with my hometown Pirates. It has something to do with Paul Skeens, but it has something to do with Kaczynski.
I'm very fragile right now if you're trying to.
But it has something to do with how we could look at the sport going forward. There's rumors out there. Ken Rosenthal had a good piece in The Athletic with Zach Mizell and one of the Pirates writers. I'm blanking on his name. Might have been Stephen Nesbitt. about the possibility. There's been no talks about the Pirates doing this, but they threw it out there about the Pirates possibly shutting down Paul Skeens. Hold on.
I'm out.
But do you want to know why, though?
I'm out.
Do you want to know why, though?
Because he's getting engaged to Livy Dunn, and they got to plan the marriage. What?
Because this could, here's what the quote, the line is, the possible prevention of Skeens from finishing first or second in the National League Rookie of the Year voting, an outcome that would deprive him of gaining a full year of service and keep him in Pittsburgh for at least an additional season. So they can shut him down. He doesn't finish first or second in the All-Star or the Rookie of the Year voting, and the Pirates get to keep him for another year. That's going to be huge if they do that, and that's going to be all for the CBA's up, 2 years, 3 years? If they do that,
what?
Yeah. We're now looking at manipulating his service time.
Blatantly out in the open?
No, the Pirates said there's no plans of shutting him down.
But I'm saying this is not Chris Bryant's in the minor leagues. Got to work on his swing. This is not Paul Skeens. Remember Chris Bryant, who tried to. Did he sue baseball? He
tried to do something. Yes,
there's some legal thing.
Because you have to spend a certain amount of days on a major league roster, and by keeping him down and George Springer down in the minor leagues, a certain amount of days they manipulated the service.
Well, there was a long time fight Chris Bryant had against baseball.
I don't know. I forget what ended up happening at the end.
There was lawyers. Don't remember exactly what happened, but he lost. You had Skeens down in the minor leagues doing this earlier, but if you were to shut down Paul Skeens now that he's been in the big leagues, he's been in the All-Star, he's been in the All-Star game, he's establishing himself as a star in our game.
He started the All-Star game.
As a marquee piece in our game, and you're going to shut him down now because of contract and manipulation of years. Oh, my God.
The first line, they could also operate with a compelling ulterior motive, the possible prevention of Skeens finishing first or second in the National League Rookie of the Year voting.
My.
So you thought I was going to talk about them trying to make a push for the wild card. No, I'm looking at something
I'd
bigger
rather
for the game.
hear about planning a wedding with Livy Dunn than that. Or she's got some new clothing line that he's investing in and he wants to help launch that.
125 in the third innings he's pitched so far between the minors and majors.
Dude, this is nothing. He pitched so much at LSU. This is nothing. This is like a walk in the park.
Yeah, well, he had that many innings in like 3 Fridays in LSU.
Oh, my God. I can't believe you brought that up.
So there you go. There's that.
This would be, I could look, because I already look at a bunch of people as a bunch of old archaic baseball people who I think are awful in their thinking, that they're horrible for our game. I'll be honest. This would be like the ultimate, right? Here you have a star. Can you imagine? We've got a star. I'll play to the old guys. Can you imagine shutting down Magic Johnson and Larry Bird in their first years?
No.
Because you're like, we're about his contract. Peyton Manning
was awful his first year, but I get where you're going.
They kept slinging the football. He threw the most
interceptions for a rookie, 28.
He threw the most interceptions. So can you imagine shutting down Peyton Manning? Can you imagine shutting down any Dan Marino? Wait, okay, this is about success.
What about Gretzky?
Now, forget, Dan Marino came out of Pitt
Yep.
and set all the rookie records. It'd be like Don Shula in the Miami Dolphins going, wait a minute, he's going to win Rookie of the Year. We got to shut him down. He's not going to play the last couple of years. That's insane.
I'm pretty sure. The other thing, too, that I didn't skim the whole article, but I saw that, and I was like, all right, I have to run with this. But if they finish first, if he finishes first or second, they get an additional draft pick if he does. I think if he wins Rookie of the Year, which he right now will probably win NL Rookie of the Year. Let's be real.
And it would go back to, why are sports just passing baseball by?
Yeah. Or look, I mean, there's
once again, here's another thing about money. Everything about our sport always comes down to the one thing sports fans don't want to talk about with their sport is money. That's why salary caps work in football. Guy has a problem with his contract, you get it done, and then you don't hear it about it again. And then in the offseason, at some point, they restructure it. It's no big deal, and it just it's not a deal until you actually get rid of the player, right? Is Steph Curry going to sign? Oh, he signs a max. Everything's good. Our talk so much about dollars and cents and money and all this kind of stuff. It's boring. It's boring.
No.
And that leads me to my thing, which I think this is so incredible that we are in a time where we talk about how it's a low scoring environment in the history of baseball. We are in a time in our game where you could have players having once-in-a-lifetime years, and they don't win the MVP. You are having players who are having seasons that are so unreal, and they won't win the most valuable player award. Bobby Witt Jr. How many guys have hit over 350, had all the power, doubles, triples, home runs, runs scored, RBIs? He's got everything. Win the Gold Glove and not win the MVP as a shortstop, the premier defensive position in the game.
Yeah, I can't really think of any off the top of my head.
Gunnar Henderson with his 33 home runs. He's about to break the Orioles record for home runs as a shortstop of Cal Ripken.
Good player.
Miguel Tejada just win the Hall of Fame here.
Good player.
Gunnar Henderson, and he's on a first-place team. Well, where they did it? They've been flip-flopping lately. Who's in first right now?
Yankees lost. I think they are in first.
Baltimore, they're essentially tied. They're 73 and 50. The first-place team. You have a guy having an all-world year for a first-place team in the East, so he's getting seen by all the writers in the East. Hell, I don't even know he finishes top 3. How about my guy, Hosey?
Oh, whoa. It's my guy.
Hosey,
our guy.
Ramirez, Cleveland.
He has the most RBIs in baseball, right?
What they're doing, he's never won the MVP. He's finished in the top 3 how many times?
Yeah.
He's had an incredible career. He's going to leave Cleveland again to the playoffs. And again, he's not going to have a shot to win these guys are having unbelievable years. Think of all the guys in the National League who have no shot. Who are having Jackson Merrill's been doing all this horrific. Partey is hurt down in Arizona right now.
Different Partey, but yes.
Well, they use that in the notes.
Oh, boy.
They use that in the notes. He's having a great year. Ketel Marte for Arizona.
Even Marcell Ozuna's having a great year. He leads in RBIs, and he's only a couple home runs behind Ohtani, and he leads in batting average.
And these guys got no shot at the MVP. They're having historic. Yeah, take our own Brent Rooker. Brent Rooker, since last 36 games, Brent Rooker is hitting 353, 14 home runs, 36 RBIs. He, at the end of the year, if he stays like that, it's going to be one of the best years. I'm not saying it's the best, but it's going to be one of the best years in Oakland A's history for an offensive player.
Yeah, we
once
talked
again
about
in
it.
a low scoring environment. This is not the steroid era. Steroid era went a long time. Guys put up big numbers. This is a different animal. I mean, you got guys having great years, and literally because Judge is a Yankee, he deserves it. Judge is a once-in-a-lifetime player.
I hope he hits 60 again. I really do.
I love Judge. I hate the Yankees. I love Judge. Judge is so incredibly special. Fastest guy to 300 home runs in games. Judge is going to be a Hall of Famer. What he does, he's great for – kids love him. He's a great dude. He's from California, Central California.
I got to look this up again, but this was like last week or 2 weeks ago. Aaron Judge would have become only the second player all time to reach 300 career home runs before 1,000 career hits. The only other guy to ever do it, Mark McGwire.
Judge's 300 home runs is coming in under 1,000 games.
Yeah, it's incredible. What he's
doing it, like, I do believe Aaron Judge is clean with all the testing going on.
Yeah.
You know, the guys, you know, when you told me that Bonds, McGuire, Sosa, and all those guys were doing it, we all were like, I mean, this guy, it's truly, man. But it's just, that's my whole thing to watch. Watch how many of these players, like, I want to bring this up because I did this with the Karate Kid Ray earlier. I don't think a lot of people have really brought up Bobby Witt Jr. Bobby Witt Jr. right now has an 8.3 WAR. That may not mean anything to you. Okay?
Pretty good.
How about this? As a shortstop, he's played the most games. He has the most runs scored. He has the most hits. He's got 25 home runs. He's got 91 RBIs. He's hitting 350 with a 1,018 OPS. He's got a 177 OPS plus. What's 100?
League average.
He's at 177. He's got 35 doubles. He's got 11 triples. He's got 25 stolen bases, and he's going to win the Gold Glove. And those numbers, that is truly one of the greatest years a shortstop has ever had in the history of baseball, and he's not going to win the MVP.
You're right. He might not even finish. He probably will finish third because everyone's going. I think a lot of people are going to put Aaron Judge or Juan Soto ahead of him too. So what Soto's been doing for the Yankees.
I haven't even brought up Juan Soto.
Yeah.
I mean, think about these names and these years we're talking about, and these guys got no shot to win the MVP. You're going to look back and go, this Bobby Witt Jr. year, could this be in a time where we believe everybody's playing on the real, the greatest year a shortstop's ever had?
Because remember, before we're talking about being Gunnar Henderson. Now it's Bobby Witt Jr. because what he's been able to do. They're both having incredible seasons as shortstops. Could be.
But his year is 350?
Hearing about this,
350?
You know what that reminds me of?
With power and speed and everything?
You know what this reminds me of? I think you and I talked about this before. This maybe not on the air. About 12 years ago, there was this center fielder in Anaheim that was playing pretty well, and the guy that won the Triple Crown won the MVP, but Trout's numbers dwarfed him in like everything. WAR, stolen bases.
Yeah.
And like that's where we're looking at now. But what Aaron Judge is doing is he's on a historic pace that in this day and age where the league ERA is over 4, but the batting average is 240, and
he's playing center field. Yeah. It's not like he's DHing.
The league OPS when I looked up the other day was still 714. 714. What is Judge's over? Well over 1100. His slugging percentage is almost as good as the league OPS.
They're playing so far above their contemporaries.
Yes.
That's what I want you to watch. Certain players are having historic years that are beyond, and these guys that are having historic years, only one guy wins the award. Well, you can have 2, but we've had it before. But it's a lot of guys are not going to win, and they are deserving. They've had incredible years. He is right over here, the GM of your Oakland Athletics, and he is next right here on A's Cast Live.
Where does one community end and the next begin? Across the railroad tracks? On the other side of the river? Is it between the east side and the west side? At Comerica Bank, we believe it's all one community, and we're all part of it. That's why Comerica has invested over $20 million for affordable housing, financial education, and workforce development in lower-income communities. Because when we raise expectations for everyone, we all rise. Member FDIC, Equal Opportunity Lender.
Being a Chevron car these days has been quite the adventure. Miami to Seattle, ocean to ocean. I've stopped at so many states and collected so many bumper stickers. Sometimes I feel like a moving passport book. It's just so great what I can do with Chevron with Techron, because it gives me unbeatable mileage and keeps my engine clean. Plus, there are so many Chevrons along the way. Now the only thing I'm worried about is where to go next and where to put all my new bumper stickers. Chevron with Techron, fueled by possibility.
If you haven't been to the chicken pie shop in Walnut Creek, what are you waiting for? You're going to love the new menu, and it's a great place to watch all the pennant race action and the upcoming NFL and college football seasons. Come taste their world-famous chicken pie that has been served in Southern California for 86 years. Spacious indoor and outdoor dining, perfect for your next corporate party or birthday celebration. Don't forget free parking. For more information, go to chickenpieshopwc.com. That's chickenpieshopwc.com.
It's summertime, and I can guarantee you probably need to redo your wardrobe. You want to look good, and you want to feel comfortable. This is Chris Townsend, and you got to go check out my friends at Link Soul. They've got all the finest fabrics. You're going to love the shirts, the polos, the shorts, you name it. Redo your look for summertime. Go to linksoul.com right now, and you can get an offer for 20% off. Remember, in the big leagues, to play good, you got to look good.
Hey, Oakland A's fans, step up to the plate with Xfinity Internet. Get the fastest speeds and low-lag streaming for an incredible viewing experience that knocks it out of the park. And you'll have a consistent connection with reduced buffering and freezing, so you can stay in all the action inning after inning. When it's game time, make sure to catch it all with internet that's powerful and reliable. Stream sports from the best seat in the house with Xfinity, because it's only live once. Actual speeds vary and not guaranteed. Many factors affect speed. For factors affecting speed, visit xfinity.com/network management.
Nestled in the hills of San Jose, minutes from Silicon Valley, Cinnabar Hills Golf Club offers 27 holes of championship golf, first-class pro shop, practice facility, and great food in the grill. This time of year also means family and business get-togethers. Let the folks at Cinnabar Hills make your event unforgettable while enjoying their award-winning venue. It's all there for you. Championship golf, a great space for any events, and incredible food. See it all at CinnabarHills.com. That's CinnabarHills.com.
Hi, fans. This season, Kingsford Capital Management is the official hedge fund sponsor of the Oakland A's. At Kingsford, down to business is their way of seeing the world. Investing has its pitfalls, treacherous chasms of half-truth and despair. Kingsford's mission is to create opportunity through application of proven innovation and entrepreneurial focus with trust, tenacity, loyalty, and growth, establishing a strong reputation as a proven intendant and validated bedrock of American finance. Kingsford Capital, down to business.
This is the place where you can dance like nobody's watching, win like nobody's business, and get away like you mean it. So what are you waiting for? Come join the party. Take that evening out and make it a night you'll never forget. This kind of action can't be beat.
If you're looking for a new mattress, Nest Bedding has you covered. Sleep on the same mattress Hall of Famer Ricky Henderson sleeps on. Nest Bedding is the #1 brand of online mattresses and the Bay Area's favorite mattress store. Take home the Easy Breather pillow. The New York Times calls it their #1 pick. You can navigate their easy-to-use website, nestbedding.com. That's nestbedding.com. Green and Gold fans, use the coupon code Oakland and you get 10% off your entire order. Nest Bedding, love where you sleep.
Looking to stay up to date on all things A's? Head over to athletics.com/A'scast. That's athletics.com/A'scast to listen to A's baseball in full 24/7 coverage of the A's, only on A's Cast. With a single click, you can stream great shows, live pre- and post-game coverage, and of course, all the great action of the A's this season. Head to athletics.com/A'scast today.
Streaming from Ricky Henderson Field, A's Cast Live continues with Chris Townsend.
All righty, it is time for the General Manager's Show right here on A's Cast Live. David Forst, fresh off a trip to the East Coast with the fam.
They let me go on the road, and I won a few games, so Kotz will invite me back.
I got to tell you, what a great we talk about for this lifestyle. It's really hard. It's a great job, obviously, but it's a hard lifestyle. Whenever you can get something special where the families can be involved, you can have wives, kids, and you get a day off in two great cities, Toronto and New York. I mean, it's like, hey, everybody, take advantage of it, right? Take advantage of the gig.
No, you nailed it. I mean, there were a lot of families on this one, Toronto and New York. I think Mickey's running more family buses than he ever has. But no, this was special. I got to take my kids to Toronto and New York, and a couple of great ballparks, 2 out of 3 wins in both places.
Yeah.
Like you said, some days off to see some fun cities.
What has impressed you the most? It could be Kotze, it can be the staff, it can be the players. Since this team really took off on July 1st, what's impressed you the most?
I think the consistency. I think the sort of, what we always talk about, different guys stepping up, whether it's a starting pitcher, whether it's someone like Shea getting hot over a 6-game stretch. I mean, we've found different ways to win, but we've consistently been in games. And, every day you get to the ballpark, you look at the matchup, think, how are we going to beat this starting pitcher that night? Like, who's going to step up? Well, sometimes it's our guy stepping up, like JP Sears has his last 4 outings, or like Beto has the last couple times out. But we've also found guys in the lineup to get hot and kind of carry us.
All right, when you have like a plan and it goes out on the field and it works, like the idea, like what does that feel as a front office where you go, yes, this is how we planned it and it's going as planned?
Yeah, I mean, I think because it's such a group effort, when Beto goes out there and pitches the way he did, we had these conversations. He gets non-tendered. We have like a Slack channel where everyone chimes in. This is what I think Beto can do. He'd be a good free agent, sign into a major league deal. Great. And then it works. Or you take Spence in the Rule 5 draft. Because we have this sort of group dynamic, it's really rewarding, I think, for the people behind the scenes to see that play out and feel like, yeah, we got some of these things right.
And you have said it on this show, no matter what the names, you can just never have enough guys who can throw baseballs, whether it's starters or it's bullpen, and that's not changing anytime soon.
No, it's not. And Mark and Emo have done such a good job of deploying these guys over the last stretch. We've seen, we saw Tyler and Mason both throw 2 innings apiece in that last game in New York. You saw Ohtani close the game on Saturday. You saw Kotz bring in Grant Holman for his major league debut in front of 37,000 people with a 2-run lead. So they've done a great job of mixing and matching. And there's been a lot of different faces out there.
How excited are you about the bullpen? You throw Ohtani's in there. That's another find that you went from a bullpen that didn't have a lot of power stuff to a bullpen now that's got a whole lot of power stuff.
Yeah, it does, and it has a lot of different looks too. I mean, you've got 2 lefties, one in McFarland from down here, Alexander from up here. You've got Adams when he's healthy with the power slider from the right side, and then you've got the velo in Ferguson, Ohtani, and Mason. I think what I'm sort of most proud about with that group, like Ohtani and Ferguson, those are minor league free agents that we identified and felt like could get outs up here. TJ and Adams, we signed the day before the season starts. We trade for TJ, we trade for Adams, both on minor league deals. We went out and got Alexander in the free agent market. Like, those are things that we worked on all off season, and now we've had 4 or 5 months of them out on the field.
We've talked about record amounts of pitchers being used this year. We're going to break last year's record where there was 863 guys pitched in Major League Baseball.
It's an amazing
Adam Aller's added that, by the way. He's starting tonight for the Marlins.
I saw that he
more
got selected.
More and more guys. Could we see a change? Because I know how the 40-man works, but it's like baseball uses so many pitchers night in and night out. It's almost you need a list for position players. They need a different list for pitchers.
Well, we have different injured lists already. One 15-day, one 10-day. I mean, I don't know, man. We tried to limit the number of pitchers on the active roster to 13 and thought maybe that would eliminate some of the churn. I'm not sure, per your numbers, I'm not sure it's made any difference. I wish I had the answers for how to change this and how to keep guys healthy and keep the same guys up here all year. Right now, as an industry, we don't have it.
And that leads me to JP Sears. Another great game yesterday. There's just something to be said about a guy that takes the ball every 5 days and can give you 30 starts. It's just so valuable. We used to expect it. Now, just talk about how valuable it is.
It's
now.
Huge, and it stands out in the game that you're talking about with all this game. Guy like JP that you can count on. It's funny. I mean, the knock on him when he got to the big leagues was, is he physical enough? Is he big enough to withstand a full season making 30 starts? And he's frankly the one guy left standing over the last 2 years. So to see him go out, 4 starts in a row now, 7+ innings, the way he competes, the way he gets guys to swing and miss at that fastball, he deserves a ton of credit for all the work he's put in.
A lot of people have been talking and comparisons to years. Obviously, this is not going to be like 2012. 2012, after coming back from Japan, there was just a lot of turnover, and then finally it just hit. A lot of people think more like 17, got hot at the end of 17, carried into 18.
Yeah.
Do you kind of get those type vibes?
I've heard the 17 one quite a bit, and I've actually seen some of the numbers comparing, second half performance or sort of second 81 games, and we're kind of on that pace. And it feels a little bit like that the way we've played the last 6 weeks. It's a different group. I think we still have some answers to come to on the starting pitching rotation. But from a position player standpoint, when you think about Ole sort of solidifying his place then and Chapman, this group of JJ and Lawrence, what Shea has done recently. You wish Soderstrom was out there. But Schumann and Hernandez and Geloff figuring it out. I hope we get Jacob back sometime in the next week or two. So, there are definitely some similarities.
Well, we saw Tyler without the thing on his wrist, and he was out here running around earlier. Yeah. What are the projections for him? Jacob Wilson, some of the younger guys. We just want to see them play again before the season ends.
You want to get those at-bats. Tyler's had, I think, his best few days recently that he's had really since he went on the IL. So that's encouraging. He's able to push through some of that lingering pain. And I know he's starting to swing the bat more aggressively. So that's encouraging. Jacob obviously went out and played Saturday and Sunday for Vegas. He'll be with them in Reno starting tomorrow. And I think ideally plays through this entire road trip in Reno and then joins us after that.
How do you make the decision? What exactly do you need to see when a player goes down there? You want to see him playing it. What do you need to see to go, he's not forget the skills, but that he's not going to re-injure himself.
Right.
He's healthy enough to come back and play.
It's a gradual buildup. So I think Jacob DH'd, 3 at-bats, shortstop, 5 innings. Like, you got to get him on his feet enough to where he plays back-to-back 9 innings, and that's gradual depending on the injury. So there's a schedule that Brian Shulman and the medical folks lay out, and that'll have Jacob playing back-to-back 9-inning games by the weekend.
And Nick Kurtz is going to be in the big leagues this year? Is that what I'm hearing? I mean, Cody's telling me we got all these people. We wanted to wait because I said, Cody, was I not? I'm like, hey, listen, I'm not reporting anything from any minor league, but I'm going to wait till I get the GM.
Our
here.
sources in the minor leagues were letting us know.
I told Cody off the air, the minor league guys usually have pretty good info, especially when you're talking about Jesse and Lansing. He knows what's happening. Nick Kurtz will be in a Midland Rockhound jersey tomorrow.
So the number 1 pick basically homers every game in Stockton and already skipping Lansing and going to why skip Lansing to AA?
First of all, that's where the opening was at first base. Midland is 2 games up with 4 weeks to play. They're in a playoff race. It's a good place to be. Brendan Malone's been playing first base, swinging the bat great, not really a true first baseman. So I think Nick goes in there with a spot to play, put him in the order. Malone can DH and move around. It just made sense. He was effectively like cosplaying Matt Olson in A-ball. It just wasn't great for his development. So we wanted to challenge him. AA has a little more left of their season than Lansing does. Plus, they've got a chance at a playoff spot. He could potentially play another 5 weeks there. So it made sense on a lot of levels.
So you take a guy in the first round who you think's going to be all world. He immediately shows you he's all world. You immediately move him to AA. We know once you get to AA and you play well in AA, you're not far from here.
It's true. Yeah, I mean, it's a perfect scenario right now. And it's not just Nick. I mean, Joshua Kuroda-Grauer's out there hitting 500. Tommy White got a couple hits last night. Rodney Green homered and doubled the other night. Like, all these guys have kind of hit the ground running. Davis Diaz will be up in Stockton starting this week. So it's been a really nice debut for just about everybody in the draft class.
And right now, I don't know if you guys care or not, but you look at Baseball America, you look at MLB Pipeline, MLB.com, everybody's rating your system higher. I don't know. Does it mean something to you? Do you like to see it? Is it because you know how your guys look at it?
I do. I mean, the scouts look at it. I don't pay attention to it. I think there's a lot that goes into those rankings. No one, hopefully no one knows your system better than you do. I mean, that's why, that's why we do all the work to make sure we know our guys, and we feel like our system is in a much better place than it was a year ago, than it was 2 years ago. And that's what's important.
Yeah, Jonathan Mayo told us off the air. He goes, listen, top 5 pretty accurate, bottom 5 pretty accurate, everything in the middle, roll the dice.
Right, flip a couple coins, and who knows
who likes who. I really like that guy. I'm going to help him out. I'm going to vote him a little higher.
Everybody's got a little of an agenda, who they want where.
Yeah.
They talk to our guys, they talk to other scouts. Everybody has little subjectivity what they want, but again, I think we look at ourselves and feel like we're in a much better spot.
Okay, the rest of the way out. What would you like? What do you want to see from this team, player, team? What do you want to see?
I mean, more wins. The wins have been the best thing for this club to get confidence, to appreciate the work they're put in, to believe in the routine, believe in what Mark and the coaching staff are preaching. So there's no sort of substitute for winning games, because it just creates this sort of domino effect and everything goes along with it.
4th best record in baseball since July 1st. What does that say about Mark and the staff?
I mean, I can't say enough about Mark and the staff. I feel like regardless of the results on the field, I've been pretty consistent the last 2.5 years talking about the job that they've done, the work they put in. And Mark continues to do an outstanding job, not only in the 3 hours between 6:40 and 9:40 every night, but the rest of the day in the clubhouse, the preparation. Can't say enough about what he's done.
And it's hard. I was talking about earlier today. I mean, for all of us, I think about my job. I mean, I'm talking to the fans after the game. We had just had the last San Francisco versus Oakland baseball game ever. Yeah. We're never going to see that again. It's like we're having to navigate through these waters, and there's no playbook. There's no, how do you do this? People have done this, but so you guys on the baseball side are going through the same thing. No one has like, hey, do it this way. Right. What does that mean to you, how Mark and his staff has handled that? Because they have to navigate these tough waters also.
No doubt. I mean, I'll put this situation up against anything that anyone has gone through, with dealing with the uncertainty, the idea of going to an interim city for a number of years and all the chaos that brings. I mean, no one has this playbook, and they've handled it great. The players too, I'll give them a lot of credit. They've been asked about it all year. Everyone to a man has said the right things, has gone about it the right way. I mean, look, there's no way to sort of beat around it. Like, this is a difficult situation for the fans, for the people in Oakland, for all the people that I work with who may or may not be continuing on to Sacramento. Like, it's rough, and they've done a great job of blocking things out when necessary, but also being empathetic to everyone who's going through it.
It is amazing what you personally, and you never like to talk about yourself. I understand that. That's just always kind of been the way you've been, but what you have had to deal with since you have really taken over this franchise, you have a global pandemic.
I remember.
You have to keep your job was to help keep everybody safe and healthy throughout the entire organization. To work out of that, you had labor strife, and then now going through this, I mean, your time, do you ever have time to think about, like, man, ever since I took over, everybody's writing books about Billy Beane. He didn't have to do any of this stuff.
Yeah, I mean, you do sort of reflect and think of the challenges that we've had, and that's why, again, you go back to the wins on the field that make it worth it, and particularly, again, for the guys in the clubhouse who live it every day. There's no sort of better salve for that than winning a game every night and feeling good about what you've done.
Speaking of that clubhouse, we just had JJ Bleday on. I have made the prediction on this show that he will be the first guy. It takes two to tango, right? The player's got to want to sign to. I believe he'll be the first guy that you make an offer to maybe buy up some free agency or stuff.
I didn't know that was on the board.
That we're putting stuff on the board early. Hey, this, we put the cart before the horse. That's what we do in this business.
That's fair.
But he talked about continuity. You are a general manager. Billy was the same way. That's in the clubhouse.
Mm-hmm.
How much does that mean to you, knowing that this young core, and not all of them are young, because Rooker's not young.
Yeah.
I mean, some of these guys are not young, but the group, the way this is heading into next year, that this group really is coming together. What does that mean to you, and how much do you get to see that when you're around?
I mean, I think that is sort of the precursor to all of the playoff runs that we've had. Is there is a group that enjoys being together, that gets through the struggles. You talk about 17, talk about 2010 and 11 before that. I wasn't here in 98 and 99, but I know when you had the Tejadas and Chavez's and Greaves coming up, they went through that. So it is hopefully the precursor to the next kind of window where we have a chance to really, really succeed and really keep these guys together to enjoy sort of the fruits of their labor.
Well, you may not know this, but I'm always watching, no matter what. Even from that podium, I noticed you came down for the Hall of Fame inductions, and I know you came down, and I know you left, but I saw you come down.
I came down to see Miggy. It's always nice when he's in the building, and certainly anytime Stu's here or Eck, you get a chance to say hello. I don't have much of a relationship with Terry Steinbach, but Billy's always talked glowingly about him, and so I wanted to at least say hello. But when Miggy's here, he always has a special aura around him. And I mean, those were my first years here when Miguel was doing his thing, and it's always special to me.
Just how important also is it to have your players to see it, to see what the greatness. Jose Canseco was greatness, right? Miguel Tejada was an MVP. I mean, Terry Steinbach was one of the best catchers. I mean,
Right. Well, I think we are blessed to have Stu and Ricky around a lot. And I don't think many organizations get to have essentially like the two faces around on a consistent basis. Like, we are really blessed to have those two around. But you're right. Anytime the rest of these guys are here, even Ellie being here on Sunday for Alumni Day, like there's an impressive face for all these guys to look at. And, a middle round pick from Florida, worked his butt off, put together an incredible, 10 plus year career. So like anytime those guys are around, I hope our guys are sort of sucking information out of them.
Yeah, I wanted to say to him, when are you going to get done raising the kids and at least come to spring training and help out, right?
That's what Kotz keeps telling him. Kotz, I know, has an open invitation for him. His double play partner's out here every day hitting fungos and coaching first base. So the least Mark could do is show up once in a while.
Great stuff. Enjoy,
right,
and we'll talk to you before the end of the season.
Yeah, we'll see you soon.
The David Forst Show right here on A's Cast Live. We got more coming up next. Speaking of that, we got Mark Ellis, right? Mark Ellis will join us right here on the program.
Hi, fans. This season, Kingsford Capital Management is the official hedge fund sponsor of the Oakland A's. At Kingsford, down to business is their way of seeing the world. Investing has its pitfalls, treacherous chasms of half-truth and despair. Kingsford's mission is to create opportunity through application of proven innovation and entrepreneurial focus with trust, tenacity, loyalty, and growth, establishing a strong reputation as a proven intended and validated bedrock of American finance. Kingsford Capital, down to business.
This is Chris Townsend, and it is summertime. You want to look your best, and I can't tell you how excited I am. Commander Cody, we've got our new shipment from Link Soul, all the summer gear. So whether you're playing golf or you're going out for dinner, you're hanging out with your buddies, or you're going to the beach, go see our friends at linksoul.com. And right now they have an offer where you can get 20% off. Go to linksoul.com. Remember, in the big leagues, look good, play good.
Hey, Oakland A's fans, step up to the plate with Xfinity Internet. Get the fastest speeds and low-lag streaming for an incredible viewing experience that knocks it out of the park. And you'll have a consistent connection with reduced buffering and freezing, so you can stay in all the action inning after inning. When it's game time, make sure to catch it all with internet that's powerful and reliable. Stream sports from the best seat in the house with Xfinity, because it's only live once. Actual speeds vary and not guaranteed. Many factors affect speed. For factors affecting speed, visit xfinity.com/network management.
Ever wondered what a 30-foot tall pistachio looks like? A giant redwood or Big Sur? Chevron with Techron will be there to help you see them and tons of other places you have to see to believe. Because with unbeatable mileage and a clean engine, cars feel great. So next time you want to fill up on a little adventure, an awkward family photo, or a new commute to work, make sure to fill up at Chevron's along the way. Your car and your memories will thank you. Chevron with Techron, fueled by possibility.
If you haven't been to the Chicken Pie Shop in Walnut Creek, what are you waiting for? You're going to love the new menu, and it's a great place to watch all the games. Come taste their world-famous chicken pie that has been served in Southern California for 86 years. They have a new spring menu with special dishes and a full bar with new delicious spring cocktails. Spacious indoor and outdoor dining, perfect for your next corporate party or birthday celebration. Don't forget free parking. For more information, go to chickenpieshopwc.com. That's chickenpieshopwc.com.
If you're looking for a new mattress, Nest Bedding has you covered. Sleep on the same mattress Hall of Famer Ricky Henderson sleeps on. Nest Bedding is the #1 brand of online mattresses and the Bay Area's favorite mattress store. Take home the Easy Breather pillow. The New York Times calls it their #1 pick. You can navigate their easy-to-use website, nestbedding.com. That's nestbedding.com. Green and gold fans, use the coupon code Oakland, and you'll get 10% off your entire order. Nest Bedding. Love where you sleep.
Become an A's insider today. Visit athletics.com/newsletter and sign up to receive the latest team highlights, up-to-date news, features, and more, all delivered free to your inbox. That's athletics.com/newsletter.
Where does one community end and the next begin? Across the railroad tracks? On the other side of the river? Is it between the east side and the west side? At Comerica Bank, we believe it's all one community, and we're all part of it. That's why Comerica has invested over $20 million for affordable housing, financial education, and workforce development in lower-income communities. Because when we raise expectations for everyone, we all rise. Member FDIC, Equal Opportunity Lender.
With the sunshine returning, it's time for golf, and more golf at Cinnabar Hills Golf Club. Cinnabar Hills is also your destination for great food with their beautiful renovated restaurant and quality craft beer selection at their full bar. Featuring a grass driving range and 27 championship caliber holes, Cinnabar Hills Golf Club is the best public course in the Bay Area. For more information, go to cinnabarhills.com. That's cinnabarhills.com.
This is the place where you can dance like nobody's watching, win like nobody's business, and get away like you mean it. So what are you waiting for? Come join the party. Take that evening out and make it a night you'll never forget. This kind of action can't be beat.
Unlock offers and receive exclusive in-game features by downloading the MLB Ballpark app for iPhone and Android today. Plus, get the latest information on game times, schedules, and more.
And the underdog Oakland Athletics win their first championship since they were in Philadelphia in 1930.
Hi, I'm Raleigh Fingers, Hall of Famer, three-time World Series champion with the Oakland A's and World Series MVP. Winning takes teamwork, skill, and heart. So when you need an ace for a personal injury lawyer that will win you the game, go with the winning team. Call Venardi Zerata at 833-VZ for me or go to vzlawfirm.com. Venardi Zerata, the official injury law firm of the Oakland A's.
Like sports, business is about winning. Championship decisions are business decisions based on what it takes to help your company win. And that's why there's UBO Business Services, specializing in helping you win every day by streamlining workflows, managing documents, and providing the best-in-class office technology. Make your championship decision with UBO Business Services. Visit them at ubeo.com. That's ubeo.com.
Nestled in the hills of San Jose, minutes from Silicon Valley, Cinnabar Hills Golf Club offers 27 holes of championship golf, first-class pro shop, practice facility, and great food in the grill. This time of year also means family and business get-togethers. Let the folks at Cinnabar Hills make your event unforgettable while enjoying their award-winning venue. It's all there for you. Championship golf, a great space for any events, and incredible food. See it all at CinnabarHills.com. That's CinnabarHills.com.
Hi, fans. This season, Kingsford Capital Management is the official hedge fund sponsor of the Oakland A's. At Kingsford, down to business is their way of seeing the world. Investing has its pitfalls, treacherous chasms of half-truth and despair. Kingsford's mission is to create opportunity through application of proven innovation and entrepreneurial focus with trust, tenacity, loyalty, and growth, establishing a strong reputation as a proven intended and validated bedrock of American finance. Kingsford Capital, down to business.
This is Chris Townsend, and it is summertime. You want to look your best, and I can't tell you how excited I am. Commander Cody, we've got our new shipment from Link Soul, all the summer gear. So whether you're playing golf or you're going out for dinner, you're hanging out with your buddies, or you're going to the beach, go see our friends at linksoul.com. And right now they have an offer where you can get 20% off. Go to linksoul.com. Remember, in the big leagues, look good, play good.
Now back to A's Cast Live. Here's Chris Townsend.
All right, this is the point where we're dealing with the sun. It's amazing how just weather changes, right?
Literally, you and David looked like you were standing out in the sun at noon, and
right?
5 minutes later.
So, like the last month, as we're nearing fall, I know we're not close to fall technically, but we're still in August. But you can just start to see how the sun's changing, because I could be right here all through June and July, and we never have a problem. We're now getting to mid to late August, and the sun is changing already. And then by the time the end of the year, the sun will be down way earlier. It's just crazy. I remember doing Raider games, and it would be like, what? We started seeing shadows way earlier.
Yeah.
1 o'clock kickoff, but the shadows came way earlier. So the weather, the sun, the earth, it changes throughout the year, Cody.
Dog days of summer, it's getting to us.
Just say, if this is the dog days of summer, this feels like that. This feels like fall, by the way.
It's like college football weather.
Mark Ellis is going.
Hey, we're only less than 2 weeks away from Sparty, Sac State.
Yes.
I'll be there. You won't, because you're a Cal guy now.
Don't forget about the U coming to play Cal.
Unless I'm going with you and Melvin, I don't care.
Are you against my family now?
No.
Okay, just want to know that.
I did tell Bob Melvin yesterday that I will see him at a Cal game.
Who?
I don't know if I'll see him on the sidelines. I won't be down there, but I'll be eating and boozing in the seats that I get. But
how about the whole deal about Matt Chapman and getting third base? And I'm like, I get it, and we accommodate people, right? What do you want me to do?
You back up some. You can't even see you.
You want me to where do you want me to hang out? But, we got tractors coming. Isn't he the guy that turned down the $150 million from us?
That is correct, yes.
Like, Matt Chapman doesn't get traded if he signs that contract, and probably, I got to go way back here, Cody. If Matt Chapman, I don't know, we don't know. It's hard to say, well, if that happened, then X, Y, and Z. But if Matt Chapman signs that contract, who knows how it plays out? Because once he didn't sign that contract, that did start maybe we should move on and start changing things. So the guy that doesn't sign the contract, we got to make sure we accommodate him to get him a third base.
We were tipped off about this before it happened.
We were tipped off before, and then everybody on Twitter, Matt Chapman wants it. I'm like, really? I don't know. I was just kind of like, the whole, Matt Chapman thing, I don't. If you knew deep down how everything went down, I would be like, are you sure?
Look, it looks like you're out in the sun again.
Huh?
Looks like you're out in the sun again.
I'm just saying, Matt Chapman might be one of the reasons we started a rebuild, and now he shows up at here, and we're like, Chappie, here's third base.
Yeah.
I don't get that.
Control the controllables, as Scott Emerson would say.
I just don't get that. He might, he said no to a money he's never made.
Fighting for the long-term extension from the Giants.
He's going to be 32 next year. He's going to opt out and hope the Giants sign him long-term?
Something like that.
By the way, the most laughable thing in the world from the Giants thing was, they're going to be in on Juan Soto. Oh, my God, I can't wait for the winter meetings next year, and they'll have NBC, the Bay Area. They're going to try and sign Juan Soto. You mean just like you did Aaron Judge? Come on.
Correa.
You people are going to buy that?
Harper.
And next year the gloves are off. So I'm going to be laughing hysterically at that. I mean, you want to talk about hocus pocus. That would be the most hocus pocus thing. Juan Soto is going to leave New York to go play for the San Francisco Giants. What?
When I think of those two cities, they're very comparable.
Come on.
I'm being sarcastic. They're both big. That's about it.
Come on. Not gonna happen. Well, then again, maybe they do. Here's $500-something million. And if you want to do that, good luck. As we're seeing, you want a team that does it right?
You missed it. You and Forst were talking when they were doing infield practice.
Yes. Remember the Chicago White Sox, folks? And I said, folks, look at the White Sox. And nobody was out there except a couple pitchers shagging. They had a couple guys taking BP. These dudes work harder than anybody. It's every day. It's every single day the Rays work hard. Every day it's infield. It doesn't matter if it's a day game and they don't take BP, they still do infield. I have so much respect for Kevin Cash and this organization because they work. They work on the fundamentals, the things we talk about. You don't give away outs. You protect 90 feet. You do things the right way, and if you do that, you got a chance. Think of all the guys they trade away. Brian Anderson, if you missed it earlier, former World Series champion, does a great job doing color commentary on their broadcast with the great Dwayne Stats. We love these guys. Wish we could see them more. He was talking about all the guys they lost. And look, they're a game over 500. They just swept the D-backs. We're the hottest team in baseball since June 1st. If you don't respect these guys, come on. This is what pros do. And you know what? They're smart. When we talk hedge fund baseball, these guys played as good as anybody. Why are you going to go out and give bad contracts away when you can be smart, manipulate the market, and win games? These guys have won as many games as anybody. They've been to the World Series. They keep going to the playoffs. They keep being competitive. They never get down. They have figured it out. And I have a lot of respect for them. If you think it's all about spending money, well, then why aren't the Mets winning the World Series every year?
Oh, wow. But you're right. You're right. The Mets, what have they won?
I mean, the Mets have all this money. They spend all this money. Are they smart? Who would you rather be, the Rays or the Mets?
The Rays. They also have like the second best farm system according to most publications.
And oh, by the way, these guys, their city council voted. They're going to break ground. They're getting a new facility.
So that finally baseball can move out of the talks of the two teams that.
Yeah.
So next would be the whole expansion, whatever baseball wants to do next.
I got to think Salt Lake and
Nashville.
Hey, we were just in Nashville in the winter meetings, and it's like, how is a team not here now? It's ridiculous. Major League Baseball does not have a team in Nashville. I mean, they did a whole thing, not to get it, but the Bay Area News Group, I was reading it in the San Jose Mercury News, did a whole breakdown of the last census about people moving out of California and different. They're talking about, how economies work and everything. Like, you want to invest and move and be a part of an area that is expanding. And that's Vegas. That's Nashville. That's Salt Lake City. They say Salt Lake City is the best for like 25 to like 40 or something.
So my age group, yeah.
So your age group, business-wise, career-wise, family, like Salt Lake City's a booming city. Technology, like all these things are happening. Like, you want your business and you want to go to areas that are growing, not decreasing. And unfortunately, in California and Northern California, according to this article, I was just reading it. We had economists from Stanford. They're talking about and people are moving out of California. It's just a reality.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm shocked. Like, how is baseball not announcing it? Baseball should be like, we're getting into Salt Lake City now. We're getting into Vegas now. We're getting into Nashville now. I mean, these cities are booming. We just saw Nashville. It's crazy expansion going on.
Yeah, they're getting another stadium for the Titans.
Tennessee Titans now are going to have 2 stadiums. Both. I'm not
Nissan
going to talk about
Stadium's
how it was funded, but 2 stadiums.
Nissan Stadium's not even that old.
Arlington, Texas, they've had 2 stadiums, the Rangers.
Yeah. By the way, before we get to Mark Ellis and looking at the Rays, when we're on the road, the next road trip, which I think is next week, in Cincinnati, and for who else is after, got to reach out to our friend Brett Phillips, who's now pitching in the Yankees
Maverick.
Because remember, good friend of ours with the Rays.
Yes.
Now he's pitching in the Yankees.
We always
system.
wanted to be in an A. He would have been a perfect A.
There's so many chances. We should tell David that next time. Hey, here's a list of guys that we think would be great A's.
But the problem is, Colby Thomas is coming. See, This is the thing.
Denzel Clark. Henry
Bolte. Folks, your number 1 pick, number 4 overall at Wake Forest, just got promoted after 6 games to Midland because the GM just said on this show he was making A-ball look like Matt Olson did. Like, it's ridiculous.
Cosplaying as Matt Olson.
6 games, had 4 home runs. This is like playing. This like's not even ACC competition he was in. You realize when you go to Double-A, if he goes there and hits already, he's on a pace where he'll be in the big leagues next year.
Yeah,
I don't
we're
want
following the Angels' plan.
If you do it in Double-A, you're not far away from the big leagues. Can you imagine Nick Kurtz being in the big leagues next year, and you're looking at having like an all-world first baseman, like truly all-world first. Nothing against Matt Olson, love Matt Olson, but this guy is projecting to be all-world. He's going to be in Double-A after 6 games.
Yeah,
it's
crazy.
like Will Clark-like progression out of Mississippi State.
That's SEC baseball.
What did Will Clark do in his first at-bat?
Home run.
Off.
Oh,
wow. Nolan Ryan.
I was going to say Nolan Ryan. I felt too easy.
The thrill. Whack. I mean, Will Clark, minor leagues, it was in no time. He's up in the big leagues and then a great career.
If he gets called up, this is
friend of the program, Will Clark.
This is a good question for our
great
good friend.
Ranger and Oriole, Will Clark.
Wasn't he
St. Louis Cardinal?
Was he in Cleveland too? Or is that? I'm thinking of the big Marine.
I remember Will Clark as a Ranger, Oriole, and a Cardinal. I don't remember I remember 4 franchises.
Okay. But I was going to say, this is a good question for our good friend Sarah Lang. For if and when he gets called up, when was the last time 2 MLB teammates were from the same city in 2 different states? Because of.
Okay, wait, what?
Same city name, 2 different states.
Like
Kurtz is from Lancaster, Pennsylvania, and Joey Estes is from Lancaster, California.
So, like,
spelled the same, said different.
You're like from like Jacksonville, Florida, and Jacksonville, Oregon.
Yes, something like that. When was the last time that's happened?
I don't know, and I have too much of a life to worry about that.
You're right. Okay, so I was thinking of Matt Williams as a. Oh, you don't remember Will Clark is a great Oriole?
I said.
Oh, you said.
I said Ranger, Oriole, Cardinal.
Oh, okay, yeah. All right.
Did he play for anybody else?
No, besides the Giants, obviously.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of Matt Williams as an Indian.
Yeah, well, that's where he went. Brian Sabian traded him to Cleveland. That's how Jeff Kent got here.
Oh, that's right. That was like the mid to late 90s, right?
97.
I would say 97, yeah.
The big Marine. Saw Matt Williams yesterday, former A's coach.
There's a lot of former
He's
A's.
doing well, by the way. You remember he had the cancer, but he's doing well.
So it was good to see all those guys, especially Bob. I was happy to see Melvin.
Well, yesterday was a lot of emotion, no question about it. We started the show out with that. And it's just kind of the start of how this thing's going to go. And we just want you to know, once again, that here on A's Cast, we understand that there's going to be a lot of emotion. We're going to be very emotional. It's going to be a lot of tears, whether it's this show, the Clubhouse show, and we want to be respectful of how this is going to affect everybody. It's going to affect me dramatically. It's going to affect you. And we're going to be very respectful of that because these are going to be some tough closing times. We're going to hope the ball club does well and get better and get ready for next year, which we're hopefully seeing. And the GM just talked about, hey, 17 to 18, we saw the progression, but we do understand. This can be tough for all of us, but we're all going to do it together. Alumni Sunday has been great, and we've had a lot of fun. Tomorrow we'll have Tyson Ross, Stephen Piscotty, but here we want to play Mark Ellis for you. Mark Ellis, super guy. I tell the Mark Ellis story, and he talks about it. This guy's a special guy, really a special guy. And at some point, hopefully, he'll join the organization again. I know he wants to, but he's got 3 kids.
Yeah,
and
he's a little busy.
Well, and he really is all about raising his kids and doing the right thing. But someday he'll be back in the green and gold, no question. All right, we'll be back tomorrow at 4 o'clock. Another great show for you. But coming up next, Mark Ellis right here on A's Cast Live. Joining us here on A's Cast Live, truly an all-time fan favorite, Mark Ellis. It is good to see. It's been a while. How's life?
Life is good. Life is very good. Raising kids and enjoying my family, and life is great.
Yeah, I remember towards the end, we talked to you about, staying with the organization, being around. But you said, you know what, I'm gonna hang out with the kids. And so just tell us what it's been like in retirement.
It's been good. There's days when I would love to be on the baseball field and get away from, be involved and be more involved because I love baseball. I love Major League Baseball. I love being part of it. But I've decided that, being around my kids is more important to me and my wife and raising them. And I have a son. My son will be a senior this year. It's hard to believe.
Wow.
Going to be a freshman, going to be in 8th grade. So it's gone by so fast, and I wouldn't have traded it for anything in the world.
I think about your time here, and the one thing I think about you as a winning baseball player, just how fundamentally sound you were, how good you were. Just talk about playing here for the A's and what that meant to your career.
I think that's, it started, back in high school, back in college, being around winning people and winning coaches and instilling that in us. Then I got here and we were a winning ball club. I stepped into a winning ball club and was just something that was ingrained in our mind. And whatever I could do to help the team win that day was my goal. It wasn't, can I get 2 hits today? It wasn't if I get 3 hits today, or I was just want to do something every day to try to help our team win. And I think our team is a mindset. We all kind of had that same thing in 2002 and beyond. It's something that was kind of instilled in us as we came up here.
People always think about leadership as a rah-rah role. I looked at you as more of a guy who did it by example. Talk about being a leader by example and how a lot of people in that clubhouse respected you.
You got to be who you are. You can't be somebody who you're not. I played with some guys who it came so naturally to them. I think of a Mike Sweeney, some of those guys. But for me, it was just, put your pants on, put your shirt on, go out there, play the game the right way, do what you need to do before the game. If you need to get in the weight room, if you need to get in the film room, that's how you're an example to the younger guys. And it wasn't always being the rah-rah guy, and having the biggest personality on the team. There was plenty of guys like that. Nick Swisher comes to mind. That's who he was. That's who he was. But Nick Swisher loved to play the game of baseball, and that rubbed off on people too. But it's just something that I took pride in, was going out there and doing my job every day.
And the bonds that you guys had, that's the one thing about when you played for the A's here in Oakland all those years. The clubhouse was so tight. I'm sure you'd probably still keep in touch with these guys.
Oh yeah, there's guys I definitely keep in touch with. I love turning on TV and seeing Chavi in the dugout, or turn on TV and seeing Mulder up there at Tahoe winning another golf tournament,
Yeah.
And it's just a lot of fun, and it's something I'll always enjoy. And being back here, you walk in and I look out on this field right now, and it's just a flood of memories and thinking about those guys and being out there with those guys and making those plays and winning a bunch of ball games.
What were the emotions like today when you walked in?
It's weird, so I walk into that lot, which we go to all the time as players, and Took a different direction, didn't go down the stairs when, stayed on that level for the clubhouse up there. And, it was weird. But it's good emotions, good feelings. And it's hard to believe this place won't exist anymore in Major League Baseball. And a little bit sad is one emotion, but also a good, warm feeling of all the good memories that we created in this building.
One of the best stories that I have throughout my career, and I will never forget it. It was Root Beer Float Day. And we knew you were getting traded.
Yeah.
And he went out there and still served root beer floats. He's traded to the Rockies, and he still went out there and served fan after fan after fan root beer floats. And I watched it, and I'm like, none of these people have any idea you've been traded, but you still went out there with your wife for the fans. I went, that's one of the coolest things I've ever seen in my career.
Yeah, it's just something, the bond that I felt with this organization, even at that moment, I felt like they were doing the right thing by me at that moment. With Jamal Weeks coming.
This is the place where you can dance like nobody's watching, win like nobody's business, and get away like you mean it. So what are you waiting for? Come join the party. Take that evening out and make it a night you'll never forget. This kind of action can't be beat.
This has been a presentation of the Oakland Athletics.